It's September 28th, 2020, and you know why you're here, so let's kick this off, right? And introduce the players. Hey, I'm Gerissar, a PvP Padawan.
Hey everyone, and I'm Andallyn, and welcome to the show.
Indeed. Oh my gosh, so excited. And this is crazy because normally we record on Tuesdays, but IRL stuff we had to record on a Monday instead. And wow, what a weekend! What a Monday! Andallyn, you got to do it, man. I'm just too excited. I'm gonna fumble it.
So guys, we've got some awesome guys here with us today. We have the BfA Circuit Champions from the European region, Wildcard Gaming. That's made up of your team of Mr. Morrow, Looney, Zeepai, and Blizzo. Boys, how are you doing today?
How are we doing, guys? I don't know. Amazing. I mean, it feels amazing, right? Finally winning something.
After 2 years together, or 3 years, is it 3 years?
It's 2. It's 2 years.
I mean, it's been very close.
With you, Frank.
So you guys, it was Saturday, a hard fought battle. You guys came out, won first place. What did you guys do for the weekend? I gotta ask. Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't know about my teammates, but I don't know. I was celebrating at home with my girlfriend and taking it easy. I don't know, not doing so much.
Nice, chill weekend for Looney.
Yeah.
Just chilling, not doing much.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much doing the same as Looney.
All right, Maro, how about you?
I was relaxing on Sunday. I mean, it was kind of late on Saturday, so probably went to bed like 5 a.m. or something super late. So I woke up super late on Sunday, and then I was just like relaxing the day, chilling a bit, and then playing again in the evening.
Oh wow, right back at the grind then.
Yeah, the grind never stops.
That's right.
Especially in BfA.
Truth.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys, I'd say you guys literally beat BfA though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, last year was close too, so I mean, it would have been like BfA domination almost.
Yeah.
Indeed. A double hatter or something?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I don't think everybody should know you guys, but why don't talk a little bit about yourselves. How long you been playing the game for, or even just a little bit personally, what you do outside of the game, even. I don't know, Mara, how about you first?
Sure. I mean, where do I start? I'm 23 years old. I've been playing I think the first time I played was probably like a long time ago in TBC or BrEF even. But
Nice.
I took breaks in between. I was really young. I didn't really play much back then, and yeah, I've been playing a lot basically since Legion or VOD. And yeah, outside of WoW, I'm currently studying economics, and yeah,
Cool.
guess that's basically
So, are you using any of the economics you're studying for the taking over the auction house?
it. Nah, I've been probably some gold this season, but yeah, I'm not really that much into that. I've just been playing arenas pretty much.
There you go.
Fair enough. How about you, Looney?
That was me. I don't know. I would consider myself a pretty old dog these days. I'm an old dog. I mean, I've been playing WoW I don't know. It's like for a long
This was
time.
cool.
15 years. 15 years I think I played WoW. 14, 15 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, but it wasn't as serious. I mean, seriously, like playing WoW as a main game, as I considered it as a main game, maybe since Cataclysm.
Okay.
Then I kind of dropped every other game because put most of your time and energy into WoW. Realized it was the best game.
By far.
Indeed. But it does take a time sink, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's I mean, no time for any other game. I mean, there's many games I want to play, but it's I don't know. I feel like there's no time for it.
Here's a quick question then. If you did stop playing WoW right now, what game would you probably pick up?
I mean, I was a big fan of the Diablo 2 and stuff like that when I was young, and Warcraft 3, but like, not so sure actually. Maybe I would wait for Diablo 4 to come out, see if it's a pump. But other than that, I don't know.
All right, fair enough. How about you, Z-Pie? Tell us about yourself. Do you like long walks on the beach?
Depends who if I have someone with me, sure.
Fair.
Fair.
But yeah, I'm 23 years old. I'm from Sweden. Probably played the game for maybe 10 years. And then I started playing PvP a bit serious in end of Kata. Then in MOP I started getting a little bit better. Then I found this dog, Looney. Me and him started playing together. And that's pretty much it.
Nice. The rest is history, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest is history. Last place every tournament. until yesterday.
Yeah. Until 2020 rolls around, yeah.
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 I never won a tournament before that, actually.
Wow, that's great though.
Yeah,
You guys-
I'm actually so happy.
That's awesome. I can only imagine putting that much time and effort and then coming out winning. Just wow.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And Blizzo, how about yourself?
Well, I'm 26 years old. I'm from Slovakia. I've been playing this game for more than 10 years, around 12, 13.
Okay.
What do I do? What I didn't play in this game is like I love to play other games like FIFA, Dead by Daylight, and like basically other games like with my friends.
Nice.
And I don't know. I've been competing for 4 years, I think.
Yep.
And oh, there's not much else to say, I guess.
All right.
Okay.
Do you like to take long walks on the beach?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah. Get sand on everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. Understandable.
Okay. It's hard to whirlwind in the beach.
It slows you down. More roots. The last thing you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Deal enough roots in arena. You don't need to deal with it on the beach. So- All right, guys. Well, hey, let's. Thank you very much. I guess normally we talk about what we've been up to since our last show for our last 2 weeks. I think we know what you guys have been up to.
Yeah.
Obviously, is winning games and champion in arena. I guess one question though, leading up to the Grand Champions, the finals that happened this weekend, you guys had about 2 weeks to prepare for that. What was that like for you guys?
It was very relaxing.
We took it very easy. I don't know. We have a very chill mindset about the games. We don't really. We talk a lot about the games, of course, and the matchups. We're like, I mean, sometimes we're chilling on Discord. I mean, we're all friends, so we take our time.
I feel like we queued once, right? We queued once and we faced like some IMP.
It's always good to not play
See
too
the
much with
matchup.
each other,
Yeah.
so you don't get too triggered,
Right.
Yeah, it's
And it's always good
in the
to
past.
go raw. You always
In the
want to go
past,
raw.
we practiced too much, and I felt like it was not that good. Like we always rage
Sort of.
at each other, and it always ended up bad already before the tournament. But since before BlizzCon, when we started using this method, it's been working.
Yeah.
It has been getting better, yeah.
That's awesome. It makes sense. I mean, it's just like for an exam or for anything where you prepare too much and you overstress yourself, then you're too wound up when it comes to game time, right?
Yeah, it's like playing competitively. It's very much psychological. It's like a lot in your head and everything like that. I think it plays a huge factor. It's like how your like mental state, everything. It's like I don't know, if you have a kind of relaxed mindset about the games, you're not like stressing too much, you're gonna go in, chilling, pumping a bit, and all of a sudden you're gonna find yourself winning, smashing everyone. That's kind of what happens.
Or you get hard countered. It's
If you lose, you get hard countered, but if you win,
then you're chilling, smashing.
Nice.
All right.
So, question here, just to kind of wet the whistles. How does one stay sharp and fresh when they're not playing? How do you guys do that?
I mean, it doesn't mean you're not playing. You can play with other people. Like I mean, I have like a group of friends, like including my teammates that I queue with. But I don't necessarily think it's like that important that you always play with your team. You can play with other people. Like I don't think it's a big difference actually. Like I think it's just important that you like on a good level individually, and then if you know each other well, then you don't really need to like prac that much together. Like we've been playing together, like some of these comps we've been playing together for like 2 years. It's not like it's gonna make a difference if we play 2 more hours or something.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hey, Andallyn, what have you been up to these last couple of weeks then?
Well, see,
have you been stressing in the game?
What? Say that again.
Have you been stressing in the game?
No, I haven't been, thankfully. The only thing I've been stressing about is when pre-patch is going to get here.
All right.
Which I really shouldn't be, but I don't know. I feel like there's there's been some Twitter murmurings, and I kind of am starting to get on this train of, look, give us a release date for pre-patch, and if you want, go ahead and throw on we're going to be a 2 or 3 more months or weeks or whatever for Shadowlands.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd probably be relieved. I'd be like, okay, that's I see a little self-respect and a little introspectiveness kind of coming through and shining through their rhetoric here now. So, but I did manage to get my Hunter 120, so he's going to be a fun character to main, I think, for Shadowlands along with everybody else. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Is everybody playing Hunter in Shadowlands? Is that
It's starting to seem like it.
Classic, I love Hunter. My god, it's so relaxing.
Listen to the bow.
Yeah, just leveling as a hunter in Classic, you have your pet with you, and you're listening to the bow, just shoot the arrows. It's pure art.
Is it like an ASMR experience?
Yeah.
That's funny because I liked playing my Warlock in Classic and just hearing hearing all the curses go off and that kind of ghostly scream in the back.
Says a lot about you, Gerissar. All right.
Yeah, may have just stood there, summoned my succubus, and just stood there for 10 minutes and just listened to her do her thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us what you've been up to, because I know you've not been a quiet mouse this last weekend.
No, I played a little bit. It was mostly auction house stuff, but so my wife's birthday was on the 22nd. And among other things, I got her a gaming a time card for World of Warcraft because she's been saying that she didn't have the money for it or whatever out of her own money. So I decided I'd spring that so we could spend time together playing some WoW together for her birthday. So weekend rolled around and we went and ran ICC together with our 120s, just to have a nice relaxing run through that and hopefully see if I could get Invincible, which I did not, but that's okay. It's a nice chill. It's something we've been doing quite often. So other than that, really, I haven't been playing a lot. Oh, there was that pet battle that I did on Saturday. That was really fun.
Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, hosted a pet battle tournament. Had almost a dozen people sign up to it, which was fun. We went out to one of the peaks out in Mista Pandaria and centered up there and used the UI. You helped me build, and then we had Lithy casting it, which he did a really great job. Considering I messed up a few times and I definitely had some lessons learned, but overall, everybody seemed to really enjoy it and had a great time. So
that's awesome, man. Can we expect to see maybe some more of those in the near future?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm hooked.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Next one's going to be over in the EU servers. So going to do that. I just need to figure out if I'm going to do it on PTR or if I'm going to have to spring and get an account over on EU.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. Well, what do you say? Why don't we roll into our need greed pass?
Let's roll into it.
Sounds good.
This likely won't be a clean thing. All right. So keep your distance, Harry.
Let's do it. Need greed pass. Gerissar, it's your week, man. So let's hear it. What do you got for us?
All right. So I sat down about 5 minutes before this started. I thought really hard.
Okay.
And I thought I'd make it pertinent to you guys. So I'm gonna do the little scenario first. Well, first I'm gonna talk about need greed pass. So in this segment, it's I'm gonna pose a scenario with 3 options related to World of Warcraft. In this case, it's actually gonna be AWC. And everybody has to decide on which one they will need, which one they will greed, and which one they will pass. So,
Okay.
all right. And everybody at home, you get to play along. Send your answers into Twitter at technically PvP, or technically _ PvP, or technically PvP at gmail.com. And same, everybody who's watching live right now, here they are. All right. So, so I was thinking about AWC and how everything is, how the tournament formats have been for the last few years.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what if? So first is going back to pre-COVID ways, right? So there's going to be the 2 regional seasons, right, with the 4 cups each, with the regional lands culminating in a grand finals. Everything being double elimination. Full burnout weekends, starting Friday, ending Sunday, right? And with that, of course, you're going to get the money earnings from each of the cups, and then the winnings for the regional land, and finally the grand finals. So that's one option. The second option is doing round robins throughout the weeknights. So instead of having all the teams all together all at once, we do like Xset versus Wildcard Gaming Monday night, and then we do Coffin Dance versus Enlight on Tuesday night, and just do one match, one round robin a night, and maybe on the weekends do some double headers or something like that, right? Because it's weekends, and then the top 4 from that, or the top 6, get the earnings. And then we'll go into a top 4 double elimination regional. And again, that's prize money. Or the third, which is we'll do Swiss weeknights. And then that goes into a single elimination weekends. And each weekend is then the prize pool. All right. So option 1, again, keep the way it normally has been pre-COVID. Option 2, round robin weekends with top 4 doing double elimination regionals, or number 3 doing Swiss weeknights and single elimination weekends for the prize money.
Definitely pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was the best.
this year it turned out. I mean, it's like it was very nice. I mean, but all considering, COVID and the situation, kind of. But I mean, we got to play tournaments at least, so that was happy about that. But I mean, we want to, compete and go to tournaments, going through LAN events. So like pre-COVID, I mean, I feel like it's good, how there was like 2 prior tournaments before the actual BlizzCon and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not complaining about that.
All right. So that's your need. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, when there's no tournaments, I mean, now when there was no LANs this year, I mean, I felt like this was kind of perfect as well, because I mean, you can't really fight other regions, because of the latency issues and stuff like that.
Of course.
So, I mean, I guess they kind of made it, the best out of the situation, kind of.
I understand. All right. So if that's your need, which one would you greed then?
Greed. I mean, I'm not so sure. Maybe even more LAN tournaments. I don't know. But I don't know how it would fit in 1 year, like with WoW. I don't know. I feel like it would be very difficult because I don't know. Not sure.
All right. Okay, and so obviously you pass on between the Swiss or the round robin. Then which one would you pass on?
The Swiss.
All right.
I think I would do the same actually as him. I would also
I
need
see.
on the COVID.
Okay.
COVID.
Um, yeah, I would probably do the same. I think having lands is like what you play for. I think it's the most fun. I'm not sure if I knew every year was gonna be like this year, I don't know if I would still compete. I think, like Looney said, I think they made the best out of the situation, but I don't think it's what I would want to do. So yeah, I'm not sure what the Swiss system. Maybe it's good. I didn't like the round robin that much actually. Like I think it was
Really?
okay, but I didn't like it that much. I actually preferred even having cups over the round robin. But yeah, I would need to like play the Swiss and then see how it feels and then decide. But yeah, the best one would obviously be having lands again.
All right.
Yeah, I
Land
would
seems to be the way.
I would say the same, I guess. We could maybe have like a one each for the like region. Would be nice as well. So have like a one regional champion basically, instead of just going to one, and competing with NA teams as well.
Oh, it's
Like one
oh,
extra
so-
one.
Okay, so you have the two regionals, and then that's the crown for the region, and then have a final LAN for who's the best of the world.
Well, I guess so. Or
Okay.
maybe like have a BlizzCon basically, when every team like from everywhere is competing, and then have like one more one with NA and EU, and then one more one like only EU and only NA.
Nice, makes sense. All right, I think Andallyn, how about you?
So I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I kind of think the Swiss system is kind of neat, but I definitely see the points. So this is a very tough decision here. So I'm gonna need the Swiss system because I think that it'd be really cool to see an option where it would kind of work almost like the World Cup would, where you're essentially playing, in little divisions, and depending on what division you get placed in, you're gonna have a different experience getting out of your division than maybe some other team. So I think that'd be a really neat system. I could see it's got its own flaws and frustrations associated with it. But I'm going to need on the Swiss system, and then I'm going to grade on the pre-COVID LAN option. That's just a great experience. I think if you're a player, and it'd be it's fun and exciting to watch. I mean, always as a viewer and as a spectator, it's so much more exciting to watch like a bracketed tournament and watching teams like get eliminated, and teams trying to hang on for dear life and win this game and stuff like that. So of course that's going to be a much more exciting and a much more high energy type of event to spectate. So
Makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks. And so then obviously you'll pass on the round robin.
Yeah, I'll pass on the round robin.
Oh, you guys are killing me. That's like the one I want to need on. Oh, damn it.
Do it up, man. Do it up. Someone's got you.
All right. So that was my need, was the round robin. I'd love to see like matches every weeknight. So, and then then I can focus on the matches I really want to see, on the teams I really want to see, and then I'm not stuck, or I'm not having to sit in front of a TV for a whole weekend, right? Or feel like I'm missing out if I have to go outside to do something, right? So spend the evening, you just like you would for sports ball or hockey or anything else, right? Spend the weeknight watching a game, and then on the weekends, or like you said, get the regional finals and that. So that was my need, and then my greed is definitely the pre-COVID. I do enjoy that. Same watching teams go through the ladders, going through the brackets, and fighting for it, and then watching if somebody gets knocked down into the lower bracket and then fight their way back up to the grand finals is just absolutely exhilarating.
It is.
And but I'm gonna pass on the Swiss. It was I'm gonna say it was kind of a throwaway idea. I threw it in there because I needed 3. So
oh, come on, dude.
I know. It's weak sauce. But hey, again, right back to the chat room. Everybody listening, let us know what you think, which one you would need, greed, and pass on. And while you do that, we're going to rhyme off some of the upcoming WoW sports and the PvP events, I guess. And once we're done that, we'll actually get into talking directly with these guys and seeing what they think about the road to AWC finals.
All right, let's do it.
Indeed. So we got the little standbys. Andallyn Gaming is still doing his 5v5 1v1 duels. So by all means, go check him out. Always a blast to watch. And Flark has been doing an amazing job doing his 3v3 tournaments. As far as I know, he's still planning to do one this Sunday on the weekend. And AWC may be over, but Blizzard's WoW Esports is not done. They have just announced at the tail end of the AWC that they're going to be hosting a WoW Fall Classic Conquest tournament. And that's going to be classic BGs using Arathi Basin this time. So 15v15. So this is pretty exciting. The sign-ups right now. So go over, link's going to be in the show notes, like we always do. You can go over there, go to the Discord for the classic tournaments and sign up, find a team for yourself. It's going to be a $12,000 total prize pool, $6,000 for NA, $6,000 for EU. Qualifiers for EU is the 3rd and the 4th of October. NA is going to be the 10th and the 11th. And then the grand finals are going to be the 17th and the 18th for EU and NA, respectively. I'm pretty excited about that. That sounds like it's going to be a pretty fun blast to watch. I don't know. Which one do you guys prefer? Watching Warsong Gulch or even playing Warsong Gulch or Arathi Basin Classic version?
Warsong Gulch, I guess. I never really liked Arathi Basin because I used to do RBGs a lot, and the games were insanely long. Like every game was 30 minutes,
and it was very
so
random
boring.
as well. It was very
it was
random
very
as well.
random.
I didn't feel like best team won.
It wasn't good. It was usually the best team that won.
Yeah.
Like there was no cheese. Like AB would like lose a game because one guy would get ninja capped and then you would just tilt.
Yeah, mine was always standing on the base, losing it.
No, I would always get it, but someone else
I
would
feel
like
like
struggle.
AB is very, very badly made. It's like very. They need to rework it somehow. I feel like because I don't know. It's like when it got released, like WoW 15 years ago, then maybe it was good. But I feel like now this ninja capping, all that piss. It's like I don't know. It's not that good. I feel like it should be some kind of King of the Hill style, on the bases. Like you just need to kill people and dominate them, and you should keep the base that way.
So do you think it should be like how they have the actual battleground you can queue up for that's not a rated battleground where you have to have like a majority of people and you push the little meter? Is that what you think would be better?
Yeah, that's
I actually think it's better, yeah. Because then
it's
you
way
can
more
do
balanced, and then like it's more certain like the better team will win. I feel like instead of leaving it up to chance and RNG and stuff.
Yeah, and Rogue v Rogue or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I
Interesting.
also prefer Warsong. I mean Warsong is like much better.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Literally classic.
I'm
That's
looking
awesome.
forward to that. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for it. I do enjoy Arathi Basin, and it has a special place in my heart. I hear what you're saying though. I'd rather play current version of Arathi Basin than classic version.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all right. Well, I think that's about it. Let's. I think we've everybody's held on long enough. Let's actually talk to these guys, and what's your insights? The road to what used to be the road to BlizzCon, but I call this like the road to winning the AWC for the BfA. Let's talk about this, guys. So you guys got together in what it was 2019, right? And you guys, that's when you guys first got together.
Well, they've been playing together for longer, but I joined in the start of 2019.
Yeah, and so that's I'd say that's the worst the Wildcard Gaming that we know today. So from 2019, you guys played through. You almost won BlizzCon last year, which was, but it always seemed like at the time Method Black was kind of your nemesis, right? And it seemed like this year, starting with a lot of cups, the cups this year leading into the BfA cups. You guys seem to have you found the chinks in their armor. You found their weaknesses, and you guys really came together and just started really winning. And then it came through. Like, it really showed. Like, twice. XSET now faced you guys, and you're able to defeat them, taking the grand championships, right? So what was that like? What was that pathway from BlizzCon last year to Saturday? What took you guys to work through that to end up coming out number one?
Well, they nerfed RMD.
They nerfed RMD. RMD got
That's
nerfed.
all it took.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
I would say,
I mean, a lot of it is like, that's obviously something that, like, you need to, like, actually play the game for and, like, play on high rating to know that. But a lot of it is just meta and balance changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone has his own main class and, like, main comms and all these things, and obviously balance changes affect results much more than sometimes, like, being better or, like, being, like, doing, like, improving. And this year I think we just had, like, a more fair, more equal meta. I think we had good comms, they had good comms, and I mean, last year I would definitely say we were very unfavored. And so I was always, I mean, to be honest, I was very surprised we did as well as we did at the last year's BlizzCon.
Really?
Like, I really didn't expect to get second and almost win. Like, this year I would expect us to get top 2 maybe, but at least top 2 in Europe. But I mean, last year I didn't really expect it. I think I wouldn't have been surprised if we get, like, 5th place at BlizzCon or something.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
same.
kind of hard for people to understand. I feel, because it's like, wow, it's so complex with this meta and all this kind of stuff. Like, people
Yeah.
think you just go into the arena, you know, and you queue against each other and that's it. But it, like, comes down to, it's like, you know, what composition you're playing, like, what's your main class, what's the enemy team's main class, like, what's the
Mhm.
best in that current meta. Like, it's very, like, comes down to many things like that, and not just like who's the better player. It's like, I don't know. But this year, yeah, the meta, like, favored us way more than last year. I mean, last year was very terrible. I mean, because if we can't use CP's Elemental Shaman, it's very brutal for our team. Or like his Enha or his Ella. But this year, I mean, his Elemental was proved to be the key, I would say.
All right. It all comes down to the power of the Earthshock. Then is that?
You need to always have a key.
The
Yeah.
motion of the ocean, something like that. Yeah.
All right. So, I think I have to ask. This is the burning question that's always been around. Just got to throw this out here. What do you guys think of the this last season and the corruption?
So you start. You can start.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the corruption was very brutal. It's like, the corruption kind of ruined this season a little bit. It made, like, classes that wouldn't have been as good way better because of, like, how they scale with their best stat, like Versa. Basically, everyone is just stacking that stat in PvP. So, like, classes that aren't as good, they became very powerful. Like, I mean, for example, Windwalker, Discipline Priest, or like classes like that. I mean, I don't know, wouldn't say they were as strong last season. And then into this season, I mean, there was boom. Same with Paladins, like Holy Paladins, for example, with Ineffable Truth. I mean, without
Right.
Ineffable Truth,
Yeah.
it would be literally the worst leader in the game. So I don't know. It's like very weird how the corruption, like, changed the balance, because there was no balance changes almost at all going from last season to this one. It was like very minor stuff. Like, they basically, it wasn't that many, I feel like. And
There was
the
the
corruption has made a huge change to the whole meta.
I think the
Without any
only thing really I remember seeing that was at all pertinent was the slight nerf to Destrolocks and the nerf to Life Cocoon with the haste cap on Mistweavers.
They buffed Mistweavers going into this season. That was about it. And I mean, the nerfs to, like, Destra and so, I mean, it's like kind of irrelevant changes. They didn't like change much at all.
No, fair enough. Anybody else?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the corruption system. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I mean, I think it turned out a bit weird because the resistance just got too high in my opinion. I think it like got to like I don't know. In the end, it was just so like you could use so many Versa amps, so many like different things that like it just made some classes completely unkillable before you reach a certain point in dampening, and just favored some specs more than others. I mean, including Mage. I think Mage became really, really like even better than it was last season just because of like basically becoming one of the most tanky specs in the game because you can just stack full Versa while like it's basically your best damage corruption as well as your best defensive corruption. And overall, like the meta kind of changed over the season without balance change just because of the cloak resistance becoming higher. Like rogues became worse over time compared to windwalkers because gushing wound was like their best damage corruption at that one. Obviously was like capped at 9. And other specs just became better. Like windwalker got better over time. Rogues got a bit worse. And like that was the same for a lot of classes, but I think the system had a lot of potential. I just, I don't know, just think it like worked out a bit. Went to like a little bit bad in the end, maybe.
It's because of how versatility as well. It's like, I mean, gives you damage and healing and damage reduction. So it's like when there's a corruption, it makes you get like 60, 70, 80%. You know, it's gonna be out of control and, in my opinion, kind of ruining the balance of the game. It's like, so
I want to throw this out. I feel like looking back, there was almost like an intent where corruption and all this pieces of corruption were put in there to cause a meta shift without having to do any actual tuning changes. And it almost felt like with all the versatility and then with conflict and strife, and especially how they interacted conflict and strife with certain stuns, it was almost like they did that to hard counter RMB in a way, or at least, or some of these comps that were a little bit stronger, and it gave other comps a bit more of a chance to come in and shine. But I would say I found the selectiveness in what triggered the doubling of versatility with conflict and strife seemed a little bit very selective, and I was really surprised to see that some stuns were triggered it and some stuns didn't. That's where
it was bugged. It was like bugged for a long time for whole of BfA when they implemented the essences. I mean, it was bugged. Didn't work on half the stuns in the game, sadly. So that was a bit unlucky. Right. But I feel like the doubling effect of the Versa from conflict was perfectly fine. I mean, what made it so broken was just
the Versa stacking.
It was the corruption stacking. Corruption ruined the balance, basically. It ruined the whole essence and made them. It kind of like they had to nerf it, basically. They had to go in and got it.
Yeah, I mean, they even had to change conflict mid-season just because it got so out of control. Which, I mean, it was just like a side effect of people stacking too much. Or see being able to stack too much corruption.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you think that there's a chance that the corruption, or do you have any specific idea of how the corruptions may have provided you guys based off of, be it the comps you play, the style that you guys like to play? It kind of provided you any kind of unique advantage, or do you think it was more so just a thorn in your side for most of this this kind of season so far, at least through the AWC?
I think it just changes different matchups in a way. Like some matchups become easier, some matchups obviously become harder. I mean, in one way, I agree that, for example, rogues probably like for them it was probably like bad that that conflict is a thing that you could stack so much Versa, but at the same time, a lot of healers that rogues play with, like the best two rogue healers, basically Priest, Parla. I mean, Druid, I guess as well, but Druid was nerfed coming into the season anyway. But like Priest and Parla became so much better with corruption as well that I feel like it kind of balanced out to some extent. But yeah, I'm not so sure. I think it just changes different matchups. In some matchups, you're happy that you can use corruption. In some matchups, you would probably say they would be much easier if there was no corruption in the game.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So when you face a paladin with full NF and he's just sacking and bopping and having wings up the whole game, I mean, it's like before ineffable they would have died in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a thing with enough paladin. Like sometimes if you got unlucky, like when only got unlucky, he was like crying all the time, and that he's not proccing, and
I'm
the other
not,
paladin is
I'm not a
proccing.
huge fan of enough paladin. I'm probably the one with the most or the least enough, I would say. When I play.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But in the end, he was proccing.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's also like a really bad thing. Like, I mean, that's like one of the examples, but ineffable truth is like, maybe for PV it's fine, but for PvP it's like, it's such a bad concept, because I think a lot of matchups, like let's say you play a mirror Windwalker Mage Parla, which happened in the upper bracket finals, I think. Did it happen in the finals as well?
Yep.
Oh, no, it was in the finals actually. I think it was in the finals. Like that matchup is, in my opinion, if both teams play skill capped, it's completely decided by ineffable truth procs, which is obviously like a stupid win condition. Like whoever gets more lucky can do more goals, can do more things in the game, has better mana as well, because it's less mana, like it's more mana efficient healing if you have wings up all the time, obviously, as a paladin.
Yep.
So I think it's like it just worked out like a bit bad in the end.
Wasn't it? What match was that? I was watching at the NA.
It was upper bracket. I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait.
Was it upper bracket?
It was upper bracket for us.
There was a mirror as well in the NA tournament, like some
Yeah, there was.
mana mirrors in NA too.
There was, and that's what I was thinking of. I think the Pally was out of. I can't remember who it was now. He was out of mana for like a minute and a half, and he was just keeping the team alive with inevitable Nef procs. It was just. I have a question then. Talking about the RNG and that, was there any time where you guys, where it truly rolled into your favor, where getting that ineffable tooth proc got you that win, or that like I don't know, something like.
I feel like one of the matchups we played this weekend, it's I think it was the Ashman game when we faced like we played LMH, I think, into Windwalker Mage Monk, and that game was the first game I ever played, I think, with this ineffable, where I actually felt like it was proccing how it should proc. I was getting like 1 proc per minute, and it felt like if I didn't get that, we would maybe have lost the game. Felt like I had, good procs that game.
Given that you should proc every 10 seconds, bro.
No, it was like the first game I felt like it finally procced. And
But
it made us win, because that matchup was kind of unwinnable for us. So it was lucky that I was proccing. I was like saying in the game, "Oh my god, guys, I'm proccing," because they were like, "You going oom, bro? You going oom?" And I was like, "No, guys, I'm proccing with my wings now. It's coming back, guys. 10 seconds."
I think maybe they should have changed that corruption as well, and maybe made like an internal CD of 60 seconds, and then just have it like make it have like a really high proc chance, so you basically get it every 60 seconds consistently. And maybe there's issues with that too, but I think I don't know, like too much RNG is never good for the game. I think, at least for any competitive game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Relying
definitely.
on luck or like yeah.
That's called gambling.
Yeah.
All right, I have a quick question out of chat here. I think this is a really good one. Of the 4 BfA seasons, which one did you prefer playing in?
First one. Until they left Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo first season, like that was probably the most fun I had in BfA. Easily.
Nice.
Because Turbo is like my favorite comp, one of my favorite.
There's nothing better when you play Turbo and you just go in and just pump.
Press your buttons.
Pure art. Press everything that shines, yes, pump.
Yeah, I would probably say first one as well. I think first one. I didn't mind the last season now that much, but it wasn't really that good to be honest. Somewhat like the second season was the second season was the one where there was a lot of like broken PvE trinkets that made it like a little bit unenjoyable. So I would say overall the first one. I think the first PvA season was actually really, really good and really fun to play. And then it just became
Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I mean some stuff was broken, but at least like the average game length and these things was kind of close to like how it was in Legion, and I think it was, I don't know, it was fun to play.
There was
Good
not
to
that
know.
many damp games. Like, of course, some games went to dampening, but it's like a lot of the games were like less than 5 minutes. I would say the average game length was like 3-4 minutes in BfA Season 1. I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
That seems to be a preferable game length.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
over.
it's. Yeah, go ahead.
As like around the 5 minutes, a bit before, a little bit after, but going into like a 15-minute game.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Like the issue with a lot of things this expansion has been, in my opinion, that it's not just the game length. It just feels like whatever you do the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game is so irrelevant. And I feel like it's never been like this. It feels like whatever you do the first 6, 7 minutes is completely irrelevant, and the game starts after 7 minutes.
Right.
Like before that, you don't use any CDs anyway, or you don't need to. You just use them to like save mana or something. You don't actually play to like live. You just play to save mana or like save whatever. I don't know. It just felt a bit weird. Some matchups, like some matchups were obviously still fun, but yeah, some matchups were like that.
Yeah, the starting room almost. Yeah. So let's change gears a little bit here. Walk us through a little bit of that last series there when you guys were playing on Saturday, and kind of give us a little bit of a breakdown. Kind of take us into that experience with you. Tell us about maybe what you guys were talking about, what you were feeling, what kind of decisions did you have to make that might have been tough, or were you just kind of coasting, or was there a certain amount of what was that experience like for you guys in terms of like, you know, being there in the moment?
We had a kind of set plan. I mean, we knew what we were gonna play. I mean, we had like 2-3 comps in mind with, you know, my Paladin or Mistweaver and Windwalker Mage, LMH, and it's like we knew exactly what we were gonna queue. And but it comes down a little bit to blind pick. It's like especially into Exit's team, because they also like, you know, they play a lot of compositions and stuff like that. So if you win the blind pick, basically you can win the whole series. If both teams play good, you know, then the team that wins the first game should win the series. That's how it should be, like in a good series, like between our games. And I think we won, like the both blind picks. We kind of outpicked them, which is like kind of RNG, you know. I mean, I feel like the blind pick system isn't that good, but I mean that's what we have. So I don't like leaving stuff up to chance. I feel like it's not a good sign when you leave stuff up to chance, that like two teams just blind pick and then oops, they pick the counter comp, you win, you know. I don't feel like it's good, but that's what happened for us. I mean, it's like the first game in the winner bracket final, I think they picked Mistweaver instead of Paladin, like playing Windwalker Mage, and we picked with Paladin, and Paladin just win that matchup very easy, I feel like. And then in the actual grand final, what did we even play? We played LMH, right? Yeah, that matchup though, I don't know if it was like, I mean, for us it was a good matchup, because I don't feel like they know how to play into LMH, because Mage Lock is kind of good with Paladin into LMH, I feel like, but I don't know, they just can't practice into us. They can't practice into our LMH, so it's like hard for them to get good games, good practicing. That's also like a thing with WoW. It's like very hard to like practice into, like get good practice, because you just can't, I don't know, you can't face teams all the time that play the comp you need to practice into, you know?
Right.
So they kind of needed to face our LMH, but they could never face it really. They never faced it the whole season outside of the tournaments, and every time they faced it, I mean, for most part they lost, so. But that doesn't necessarily mean we should be winning these games. It's just like how WoW PvP is. I don't know. It's hard to know what to do in some matchups sometimes, because you can't face them.
It's the same for us. We didn't really know if we didn't really know ourselves if we were gonna win the RMP as Windwalker Mage or as LMH. I mean, we had we obviously knew the strat and everything going into it. We knew what we wanted to do, but if we were actually gonna win, like we didn't 100% know. Like we obviously knew maybe what our best comp would be into their best comps, or what we wanted to play into what comp. But that doesn't really mean we knew exactly how the matchup would go. Like it's the same for us. I mean, for us, it's also kind of hard to get really good practice, because facing one team playing that comp isn't necessarily the same as facing another team playing that comp. People play differently. People are good at different things. People are good, like maybe one mage is better in one matchup, the other one is better in another matchup, and all these things obviously matter. And yeah, so it's obviously a little bit hard to predict. But I think we did really well in that final. I think outside of the second game where we kind of didn't think about them playing Windwalker DK, I think we picked really good. I think we had a good game, we had a good plan what we want to do. I mean, other than that, I can't really complain much. I think we did really well, and
Fair enough. Is it Blizzo? You were gonna say something?
Yeah, we faced RMP on Water, but it is a bit different because we were facing them playing Horde, and Maro had much worse gear, so it was we lost games, but we felt like it's gonna work if you play Alliance and a human with Relentless. Basically, we felt like okay, this game is gonna be longer, and if Wuni has Relentless and human, it's gonna feel much better. But it was not confirmed if it's good or not, so we were just gambling basically if it works or not. There's RMP.
Interesting. Cool. Quick question. Again, I'm out of questions right now because I'm very little overloaded. So I'm stealing from Twitch chat. Is this person apparently Looney? You've been seen a lot in lower MMR games on live. And they're wondering if is that to practice positioning and rotation for PvP, or is it just for any specific reason?
It's just stay in the game, you know.
Okay.
Keeps me warm.
I understand.
I think some of us also do gold boosts to be able to buy raid boost and stuff for gear. Like this season especially, gear matters so much. So we did played with people for gold and stuff to get gear from raids and stuff.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I actually don't think it matters that much. That you play with your team all the time. I think you just need to play the game and be warm and individually on a good level.
Nice.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of makes me wonder though. Aside from doing gold coaching and stuff like that, do you guys ever just grab an alt and kind of incognito run randos or something like that just to see it, or do you guys only play off of your BNet lists otherwise?
I mean, not really. It's not really that I lock on my warlock or my hunter or whatever I have 120 and say, okay, let's go into LFG and play with random people. But I mean, you do play with other people. There's a lot of people that are part of the top scene, and I mean, basically the same that I mentioned earlier. Sometimes you just play with other people. You play with whoever you feel like playing in that moment. Just play with friends as well. So yeah, obviously you do that.
Yeah. Sorry, Zipa, you're gonna say something?
No, I was. I do some LFG sometimes, it's good to get warm up sometimes and help out the community.
There you go.
I understand. Cool.
That's good stuff. So let me take the reins here for you, Gerissar. I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys what do you think was the most difficult point for you on this road to the BfA circuit? Whatever we're calling it now. What was the most difficult game for you? And tell me a little bit about how you guys maybe overcame it, or how you took away maybe an L from that game, or see if you can. What was that matchup for you?
I mean, the most difficult game was probably the Windwalker Mage Mirror on Asher main. I feel like the NF wasn't proccing that good for us. It was proccing a bit better for them. So we fell
made
behind.
poor talent choices. We had a little bit. We were sitting in the prep room and we were discussing if I should play Relentless or Trinket, and then I went for the Trinket. And
it was not as good.
It turned out very bad.
But I would say facing Windwalker DH was much harder.
Yeah, overall we were
more scared of Windwalker DH.
Demon Hunter comps we were a little bit worried about, because Demon Hunters are very, very brutal into the comps we play, I feel like. But
I actually thought my Boomkin would be the key, but it definitely wasn't the key.
We had an answer for Demon Hunter. That's what Mara was getting into a bit earlier, about the corruption, how you have this resistance on your cloak, and in the cups we didn't really have any issues beating Demon Hunters because the corruption resistance on the cloak was 50, and now when we played it's 125, and it changed the balance a bit, it changed the meta a little bit, and kind of, in my opinion, we had no answer at all for Demon Hunter comps. I feel like DH Windwalker. It's like, I mean, the best bet we probably had was Stellar Mage, but it was very hard games. It was like, I don't know.
I could have went either way.
Yeah,
especially the last game into Coffin Dance. I mean, they could have easily won that, and then you don't know, we would have won the 5th game. I mean, we had some other comps in mind, but they would probably would have ended up being worse. So
I felt we threw the hook point game though.
we did
Hard.
throw the hook points. One of our teammates suggested that we should play Spite
He just kept talking about
to
Pride.
counter the corruption, and it turned out that it wasn't a good idea to play Spite. It turned out there was better trinkets in the game that you could use.
And he wanted to try, and we were telling him
he
it's probably not, it was not the right time, maybe.
But he's been telling us for a week that Spite could be something. But it did end up being that good.
The spite was not the key.
Kiba did not have a dream like I did with my Elementor Samurai Kiba. You need to have dreams.
Well, I'd say in spite of that, you guys still won.
We did end up winning, yes.
That was very close on the Tulri game. I was shitting
Especially
my
we got
pants.
lucky the first game. Like, we won in 40 seconds.
we got a game for free kind of as well in
Yeah.
Coffin Dance, which was kind of lucky for us. I mean, so that was good.
It was good.
It was good for us.
So it seems like
Free wins
there was-
are always good.
Yeah, it was a lot of data earned. Maybe sometimes the hardest matchups were self-induced. Sometimes, but hey, you learn stuff from it, so that's awesome. So you guys, a lot of these, there's not been a whole lot of newcomers onto the scene, right? So you typically know the people you're playing against, and you've got a little bit of a history with some of those people. I mean, I think that's pretty apparent just looking at the chat. And so I kind of want to know a little bit about.
I'm laughing at chat right now. I'm sorry.
I kind of want to know a little bit about some of your mind games and how do you, without revealing too much now, right? We don't want to give them your secrets, right? I'm not asking you to do that, so you can keep your cards close. But tell me a little bit about how you guys step into a mind game, even if it's like a blind pick matchup where you're like, I know these guys are probably gonna pick from A or B or possibly C. So how do you try to approach a situation like that where you're trying to outplay someone mentally that you know really well?
That's a tough question. I feel like I don't know. Like how you. It's like with the blind pick thing with the games. I don't feel like there's much. I mean, of course, there's some stuff you can think about and do. I mean, you can always think about like what counters what and like what composition do you have that's actually good into everything as a whole.
Yeah,
Like maybe you have one comp that has a small chance to beat almost everything, and then that's kind of your safe pick. But then you can obviously lose to maybe something that you have a small chance of losing, or you go for that gamble to like pick that one comp that you know for sure is gonna beat the enemy's blind pick, for sure. But I don't know. It's like for most part, I feel like most teams always pick like the safe pick, kind of like that one comp that can beat everything. If there is like two teams that actually face each other that have many comps, most teams only play one comp. Yeah. Because it's.
No.
I
think there's always like one team, or most of the time, depending on the meta, there's always one team that has an edge, and it's usually that team that has like a comp that can beat anything, or like most comps, like Looney said, that has a chance into everything.
Yeah.
And I think that team always has like a small edge. Like I remember last year when we fought them a few times, their main comp was RMD. Like in case of Axet now, their main comp was RMD. And they could beat any comp we have with RMDs, so we would obviously have to try and prepare for RMD and have to like prepare a blind pick to beat RMD. And then they would just pick something else to completely counter our blind pick. In that situation, they just have the edge because they have a comp they can play that can beat anything, while we have like we have to try to find a counter which they can then just counter. And I mean, that's how it is, I feel like, in some matters. I feel like in this matter, I don't know, re-attach, I feel like RMP could have beaten a lot of our comms, and same way LMH could have probably beaten a lot of their comms. But I feel like that is how it is generally. And that team always has the edge.
Yeah. So do you kind of prefer to play the odds game where you're just kind of trying to give you the best chances, or do you find it more fun and more exciting to kind of, or find yourself leaning more towards taking that route of, hey, let's go all in, let's take this a little more risky route because we know that the odds are they're going to play this comp, or maybe you already know they're going to play this comp, and you're like prepared to counter or something like that for it. Do you have a preference on that, or do you just kind of, is it just
I
so
think it's very
unique to the matchup?
situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very situational, depending who you face. Like sometimes that's not even a lie. Sometimes we don't even know what we're gonna end up playing ourselves until like 5 minutes before. Like there's times where we had a comp in mind we were gonna play,
Yeah.
and then 10 minutes before we would change that and we would say, I actually think let's try this because that guy thinks it's like the better comp or whatever. But I mean, generally, I feel like it depends who we face.
Most players in our team, they don't even want to play. They want to
Yeah.
sit on the bench. Like all my DPS players in my team, this is how it sounds, guys. This is how it sounds. Please, guys, can you play without me today? Like I really don't want to play.
Zippy comes in and just go Windwalker mage, guys.
And Blizzard comes in, just go Animate. Just go Animate.
No, I come in and say, LMH is better, like Nagan is better map for LMH.
Somehow the map is always better for the other comp, but no one knows why.
Actually, that's a good point, because there's always like the one person is a healer, and then there's like 3 other people that play DPS, and it's like a toss up of who plays those two DPS. Is there ever a time where we'll see a player where they play a DPS or a healer, so then there's not the one person always having to play and be like the best healer of all the different classes?
I mean, not in our team. I think there's teams who did that in the past, but I generally don't think that's a
It's
good
not
thing to
good.
do.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not-
Yeah.
Like,
I think
there
the
has
best
to be
thing-
just one healer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's much easier if you're used to being like playing with one healer and not different people. And I also think the way the game is right now, every healer should be able to play most healers, at least all the meta healers. I mean, it's not many people can do that. I think some people are Sanjud. I think in EU it's only like that are playing right now. It's only Looney and Trust really that do that.
Yep.
But I think every healer that really wants to compete and do well should be able to just look at the meta, see these 2 or 3 healers are the best healers, and you should be able to be good enough on them.
Cool. One other quick question from Twitch chat, and I think it's this person in Twitch chat named Waz. Can you ask the gamers of Wildcard why they always target my mage or priest when I play RMP? So I'm thinking he's feeling a little left out. I think he wants to be targeted.
Well, we practiced versus the other team, Keobaba, Jamie, and Clyde.
Yep.
And it was Jamie was playing really good on his rogue. He couldn't die, so we were like, rogue, sure we cannot die, right? But when we played now, like one of the games, I think it was Hook Point.
Good point.
Yeah, like Rogue was taking a lot of damage, but in the end, like we managed actually to kill Rogue somehow because I positioned myself good and I hit him with my dress from behind when he had evasion ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we killed him, and then the next game, I think it was the last game, right? LMH, also Rogue died, so I'm not sure.
Interesting. That was a big dress. Twitch chat. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm having too much fun with Twitch chat and you guys. This is awesome. So I guess so talking about the mind games and talking about the comms, the counter comms. So I know it seems like Blizzard always seems to try to do a paper rock scissor. They seem to set up a few comps that work with that. So yes, there's always that random at the very beginning. But like you were saying, that it seems like lately there's been more of a paper rock nuclear bomb, and the nuclear bomb always seems to win. So I'm just wondering, looking forward, then let's talk into Shadowlands here. Have you guys played into the beta at all? Have you done a bunch of research? What would be your S tier for Shadowlands?
Shadowlands. I mean, I played some beta, but it's a bit early to say what's actually going to end up being the best. I mean, Rogue Mage Priest feels really strong in the beta.
Surprise, surprise.
The thing is, on the beta, it's a bit hard to say because people don't try really hard. People just play with whoever they can play with, to just like get streaming content or just try stuff for fun. So it's like only like semi-serious. I don't know what's actually going to end up being the best. So obviously there might be balance changes until as well.
Okay.
But there's a lot of broken mechanics on beta right now. I mean, so it's a little bit hard to say.
Yeah.
Can only really say what's not going to be good.
For sure. Z-Pie, how about you?
Yes. On beta, you mean? What's gonna be good?
Yeah. What's your S tier for Shadowlands?
Rogue, Priest, and probably Hunter, and Afflu Warlock maybe.
Okay.
I feel like the Covenants in Shadowlands is gonna be a huge like obstacle for the PvP balance. I feel like I didn't play much beta, but I logged in and I queued like a few skirmishes, maybe 10-15 games, and I feel like this Covenant stuff, it doesn't have any place really in rated PvP. It has no place at all, and the fact that you can't change them as well is gonna be very, very brutal in my opinion. Like when you're queuing ladder, for example. I mean, let's say if it's going to be a tournament environment, I'm sure there's going to be some way to change them back and forth.
You just need to make
games.
10 new characters, bro. 10 characters.
But like for its queuing ladder and for rated PP as a whole, I don't like the Covenant idea at all. It like completely locked down your character into basically the Covenant, and it's very, it's like, I mean, a Covenant is huge. Like you get a lot of stuff, a lot of passive abilities, and you also get like 1-2 abilities from it. And then the other Covenant is something else entirely. Like one Covenant can be very good for offensive playstyle, one for defensive, and so forth. And I feel like if you can't change between them like easily, it's not the thing.
Yeah, they just say we can change them now, but it's not flip flop. You can't.
You can't really change them when you're queuing arena. I mean, that's not a thing at all.
Right.
I mean, in a perfect world, you would even need to change them into every matchup. Every single arena game, you would need a different Covenant because because they're so impactful on the game. Some make you very immortal, some make you do a lot of damage as a healer, for example. And I mean, on a like in a tournament environment where you can maybe change that for free, that's a good system. But just to play ladder, there needs to be like more flexibility, which is
way more. Like literally, you enter the prep room and then you're gonna have like literally how you pick your essences now. Like you can pick conflict major, conflict minor, you know, right? Like with the essences, how you pick them, and with this Covenant should be exactly the same in rated PvP. Like if they're even gonna work in PvP, I think they should be disabled if it's not gonna work like this. But you should be able to pick them, like in the prep room. Like, I want to play Ventir, I want to play. I don't even know the names of them.
Night Fae and Nightcrawler.
Like you should literally be able to pick them on the spot in the prep room. And if you can't do that, then you should have no place. That's my opinion.
Pretty sure if I remember correctly, we can change our soul binds and our conduits, but we're stuck to that one Covenant. That one Covenant.
Yeah.
And it's also really brutal for players who wanna PvP and PvE. Like
that's the worst.
there's a lot of PvP players who do high-end PvE, and I mean for them it's very, very brutal because the Covenants matter like a lot in PvE, and for most classes, like one Covenant is gonna be overall best in slot, for PvP, but it's gonna suck in PvE. And then like, what do? You can't run around and swap them like every day. So I feel like the system is very, very poorly. Like the idea is cool, but it's like how they actually put it in place. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, the implementation definitely needs some work. And
there's been a lot of conversation about that.
Yeah, we could have an entire episode about that. Probably 2 episodes. I think those will be our next 2 episodes.
We were going to actually.
So
there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we covered all of the Covenants and all the abilities. They've tweaked a few of them, but then the next ones we're talking about is the soul binds and the conduits. Because I see a lot of a redo of the Legion's the Legion systems, and I am a little concerned because Legion was interesting, but there was some hiccups that they had, and it looks like a return to some of the same systems.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I mean, if we're being honest, though, returning to a Legion-styled PvP, using that almost as like a system recovery file, if you will, is actually not even a bad thing. Like that would improve the state of PvP, kind of like recovering back to that type of baseline. And then if we can improve on that, that's actually a really good option. But I digress. We'll continue on with our subject here.
Yes. Bring it back on the rails, Andallyn.
Yeah. So.
All right.
So yeah, let's see. What so guys, what did you immediately do after you guys won? Tell me what was that experience like? What'd you do immediately? Did you just go talk some smack? Did you go and eat a big meal or something, or did you go outside and run around your house or something? What'd you?
I
Go
mean,
pass out.
it was 2 a.m. so
No.
there wasn't much to do. I mean, I think one of our teammates went left after like a few seconds rather, and started his stream.
The victory stream.
The rest of us,
That's hardcore.
I mean, the rest of us, we talked about it for like a few minutes. I was hanging out in Discord for like 1-2 more hours with friends, talking about maybe games, but also random stuff. And yeah, I mean that's basically it. But then I went to bed at some point because it was already super late.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Looney?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, we were talking a little bit on Discord for like 5-10 minutes, and then I don't know, I went to chill a bit with my girlfriend, and I mean it was late. I mean it was like time for bed. It was like about time, you know. It's like these tournaments run very long. It takes a lot of time, so it's like you're all tired when you win. It's not like, I mean, it was Saturday night, you're gonna go out drinking. I mean that's not what's gonna happen. I mean we are fucking nerds here as well, so it's like, we're not going anywhere. We're staying.
I mean, if this was a LAN, we'd probably go out and drink a
Yeah,
bit.
if it wasn't a LAN, of course, we would have
Yeah.
went out to pump it real hard, but it's like now, I
Real
mean,
hard.
winning at home, we're just chilling, you know.
Especially with Corona, I mean, it's not like you can do anything anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can go out
Sweden, you
to
can. In Sweden,
McDonald's.
you can
In
pump.
Sweden you can. I mean, I could go out and go to McDonald's and get like a Happy Meal, but that's basically it.
Yes, the dinner of
This
champions.
episode of Technically PvP has been brought to you by Happy Meal. Zeepai, how about you? What did you do after?
I literally streamed. I turned on my stream. That's what I did.
Yep.
You're the guilty culprit. All right.
Yep.
How was your stream chat?
And they were happy. They were happy to see us win.
I can imagine.
Very
Imagine.
nice. Very nice.
And Blizzo, what did you do?
Oh, I talked to my team for a bit, and after that, I went to play some Dead by Daylight with my friends.
Nice.
Nice.
Just how big were the nerd screams on Discord, on chat when you
Yes,
guys won?
very calm, guys. It's very calm.
We don't shout as much. I mean, yeah, but I mean, there was some clip going around.
Zippy was losing it over a bit the last game.
Like,
He
of
was
course,
happy.
like in the very moment when you see the enemy flop on the screen, like on the ground, you know, of course you're
Yeah.
gonna shout like, yeah, like something like that. But it's
Right.
not like you're sitting there shouting and crying. It's like, I mean, it's like.
Kiva was crying.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
of
some
course, there's
players-
emotions involved, but it's like we're
Yeah.
pretty calm guys still, especially when we're at home here playing. You know, from the security.
There is a
of our-
clip
Yeah.
if you guys want to see the clip.
Yeah, sure. Link it.
Maybe it's. So, I
You
don't
link-
know.
Wait,
I don't have it.
You can link it in Twitch chat.
I'm gonna find it.
Well, you should probably put it in the what's it called, the Discord chat, and then one of us can put it in there
Yeah.
just so that
Yeah.
you don't get auto modded out.
I can do that. Or Andallyn, you can do that.
Sure.
I linked it.
Thanks.
Okay.
I guess so. Here's a question in perspective of The tournament you guys just did on Saturday, you're sitting at home just on voice chat, talking to each other, compared to BlizzCon 2019, where you're up on the stage, thousands of people cheering you on, just like the whole zonal energy. What did that feel like? What was that? How night and day was that for you guys?
It's very different. This entire year has been very different. Like playing LANs is obviously like a completely different experience than playing online cups. Like obviously I'm super happy that we won and everything, and I think there was a lot of like, I mean, it mattered obviously a lot to us that we won this, and obviously like it feels good, but comparing it to like LAN it's really hard. This felt more like an online cup that you won, like one of these online cups when you qualified to a LAN. It didn't actually feel like we just won like the final tournament of BfA. It's just like, I think it's just bound to like being together on a LAN, because that's just how it used to be. Like maybe if we get used to, maybe if we just started playing online from the get-go, never went to LAN, maybe it would have been different, but we're just so used to being on a LAN, and obviously like the final tournaments being there, so yeah.
Makes sense. Sorry. Blizzo, sorry, you were gonna say something?
Not much, but like it would obviously feel better if we won LAN, basically. Like we are sitting next to each other, you know.
Yeah.
There would have been a few kisses going around from me as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
kissing my boys if we won at LAN.
Can you kiss an ineffable truth proc?
Yeah, of course.
You can if
one
you
last
don't have
question.
them. I mean, you gotta get them.
Yeah. You gotta get the procs first to kiss them. One last question then, I guess. Add-ons or no add-ons? How does it feel to have add-ons?
No
now?
add-ons.
No add-ons.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Thinking
Thinking
pure
this is
default
skill cap.
UI. Pure default
Like
UI.
going to LAN, it was like always a little bit exciting. You're always a bit nervous because you knew it's gonna like affect your performance. It's like, cause you won't have these add-ons to help you out.
Right.
It's like as you do when you're playing online, and I feel like when you're playing in a tournament setting at a LAN event, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be when you play these WoW tournaments, like the WoW PP tournaments. That's why I feel like when you have these add-ons, I feel like that's my opinion at least. And there was a lot of discussion about this as well. Like some people didn't like it, some people do like it, and it's also like a question if when you allow some add-ons, why don't you allow every single add-on? You know, so it's I don't know. My opinion is no add-ons. Let people go in raw. That's how it should be.
Don't
That can be taken a few different ways how you said
Yeah.
that. Just
Yeah.
say.
No clipping this, okay? That's right.
All right. Well, sorry, I just missed one question in Twitch chat. Did you guys practice any against any NA teams?
C9
I think C9 only, right? Or
and
what's
the jungle.
actually, Dilipu, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Turtle,
brutal,
I think they
actually.
called.
Wasn't it like 20-0 or something like that for us?
It didn't go that good for them.
Also, like these war games are like a bit troll, 'cause, I mean they have to play with super high ping or latency.
I mean,
and
it's
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's also
brutal.
like, but it's worse for like the European players to go on the NA servers because like we have even more latency like playing on NA server because like we will have like 180, 200, and they only play with like 100 if they're playing, unless they're playing from like Hawaii or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't it Pharaoh from Hawaii or something?
Yeah, like
Yes.
Dilipu's fair, yeah, he's from Hawaii. I mean, it was brutal for him.
For him, it was, yeah.
Oh, apparently Dilly just confirmed Foxy has 400 milliseconds because he's a Hawaiian.
Yeah. But
Maybe that's why it went so good for us.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was good giving us some confidence.
Yes,
more or less.
IRL corruption.
It was actually
Yes.
good. We got some confidence.
Yes.
I think what was it? So we were saying for Chanimal, that's one of the reasons why he's so preemptive almost is because he's so used to playing with 300 milliseconds that he's almost ahead of what people. He's already ahead trying to play with that latency. That when he's in LAN, it's just he's outthinking people.
Yeah. playing from France now, though, I heard. So it's like when he's playing on the European realms to like practice war games to other teams. I mean, he had the same ping as everyone else, if not
Even better than other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Except Franco. Franco lives on top of the server.
Yeah.
I live on top of the server. It's 15 ping. It's such a blast. Sometimes 10.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen that for years. I think right now I'm sitting around 40 or 50, depending on which server I'm playing on.
Yeah.
But before we start getting our own latency in our conversation here, Andallyn, do you want to change it up a bit?
Sure, yeah, we'll get there in just 1 second. As a final question here, well, a pre-final question. So, guys, what is the next step from here? What where do you guys expect to go from here? Have you decided on anything? Do you have a certain feeling of what you're looking for next? Is there a future goal? Tell us a little bit about what's next for Wildcard Gaming.
I mean, I think the goal is, at least for me personally, I mean, I don't know if it's the same for everyone. I feel like the goal is always at the start of the year. Like my first goal is always to qualify to lands if there is lands. I always want to just qualify, and that's like the first priority. And then just go from there. Like we talked about in the start, like it depends a lot how the meta is, what your place is in the current pool of teams. So obviously it depends a bit on the meta and how the game is right now. Sometimes you're by default, because your main comp is the best comp in the game, you're by default supposed to be like the top team and maybe the first place. Sometimes you're supposed to be like further down, but I would expect us to be like top 2 unless anything changes. Just because I think the other top team in Europe at least is obviously Exat, and I would expect us to at least be like consistent top 2 team, and depending on the meta, maybe we're the best team, or like the most successful team, or the second one. But yeah, that's kind of my personal goal.
Nice.
No, it's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, it's like you can always. I mean, going into a new expansion is also a little bit easier picking up something new, I would say. It's like on a fresh expansion, I mean, it's like, okay, if you know something is gonna maybe be strong in the beginning, it's like easier to pick it up than like later into an expansion. So you can always do changes as well. I mean, maybe you will see CP playing on a Shadow Priest or something. I heard Shadow Priests are broken right now.
Yeah.
And CP has some experience of playing Shadow Priest.
Yeah, we played
After seeing Valle SP.
Sado is coming back.
Oh my god, actually. I thought my sub rogue. Haven't you missed my sub rogue a little bit?
Like maybe it's gonna be some your rogue is gonna come back.
Yeah. Obviously, we need to look into classes in Shadowlands. Because, I mean, I've only been playing Mage and Boomkin. I could probably play something else, like one more class.
Sure.
And obviously, people might have to change their main class. I mean, like this patch, for example, I mean, Blizzard had to change from Warrior to Windwalker. I mean, that can always happen. That one class becomes totally useless. Totally useless.
To be honest, Frank, I wish, hope L is good so you can play it, and you can play it on Thunder with Baba, you know, so I can chill a bit.
Yeah, it would be good.
Maybe Warrior
yeah.
Boomkin.
I mean, that's the main thing you have to look into when the new expansion comes, I think. That you know kind of what's going to be good, so you can prepare, like, whether you're going to end up being good on that class or not, like, or good enough to win is like whatever, but you need to have stuff prepared when a new expansion comes.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna practice Rogue Mage a lot. It's always the best.
It's always the best.
It's always the best.
Nice.
Wildcard Gaming is going to pick up Rogue Mage X?
No, we're calling it BlizzCon Final next year. Rogue Mage Mirrors.
Okay.
Oh.
Pretty common.
I had
a dream, Kibo. I had a dream.
No dream.
Is that a dream?
Was it a dream or a nightmare? That's the real question.
I don't know. I had a dream that I would win on my L actually, and it came true. I told Kibo.
Earlier this year, I mean, this season has been a very, very long season. I mean, it still didn't end, right? It's like one more week or so. And I mean, when the season started off, like Elemental Shamans, and like, I mean, Enna Shamans, Elemental Shamans, they looked very, very weak. Because last season they were incredibly. It's like they weren't that good last season, and then like going into this season, it didn't really look like much would change. But then as the season progressed and with more corruption and stuff, or like with I don't know, it just turned out good. But in the beginning of the season, we were a little bit unsure, and we said, "You're not going to be that useful this season, CP. You're going to be on the bench for most of the time." And he said, "No, guys, no. My Elemental Shaman is going to be the key. Just wait and see."
That's right. I had a dream. I was told in a dream.
We were all doubting him, but
We were laughing
To be
at me. We were-
completely honest, the key changed multiple times.
He did change multiple times, but it was mainly the healing key. The healing key, like which healer I had to play. I had to play Monk.
I mean, I want my
play...
Enha, bro. I want Enha.
Yeah.
Enha.
Turbo.
Like one thing that people
Yeah,
forget
Turbo,
is-
Turbo even made a Turbo even made a comeback this
Yeah,
season.
we had 100%
did?
win rate as Turbo actually. Like
6-0.
people 6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't lose a
And
game.
You're never gonna see it again, though.
There you
But
go.
it's there for the
Nice.
records.
All right. Well, we're excited to see what you guys come up with. It sounds like it. We kind of can have some good guesses right now, but and we'll be excited to see what you guys do starting out. So we like to ask this question for everybody and for every episode, and the premise is, you're on the phone and you've got J. Allen Brack and his dev team, and we'll say the WoW Esports team's there as well, and they're like, hey guys, we need we just want the one thing that you would change about this year's AWC, or and we'll apply it to next year's, or or even just about the game in general. But you only get one thing. We can't do two. None of this like 1.5 type of things. That just what is the one thing you would change about the state of PvP?
I will make the prize pool just the winner takes it all.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Hindsight's 2020.
I didn't even understand the question, like about the game or the competitive part.
Either one, I think.
Either one.
Either one.
Yeah.
Ooh. I would love a pick and ban system for competitive play. I would love that. My God.
Nice.
I'd love to see this all, yeah.
It's only been one tournament with pick and ban, and
And
I
won
was
as well.
fortunate. I was fortunate enough to play in it, and I completely dominated it hard. So I have a thing for this pick and ban already. And I would love it.
Very nice.
People,
A match made in heaven. Yep.
And I would just want to say I won that tournament playing jungle cleave as well. So all the
Did anyone ever
jungle-
ask?
To all the jungles.
So the jungles out there.
all the
You guys should
jungle.
thank Looney. He's the inventor of jungle. He's the
Shaman
founder
jungle,
of
shaman
Jungle Cleave.
Shaman
Shaman
jungle.
Jungle Cleave. Yeah.
Shaman Jungle. Okay.
It's actually
Yeah.
Looney
Yeah.
Cleave. It was just renamed Jungle Cleave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
The,
So-
the one
the
to
pick
blame.
and ban, I don't know, but the pick and ban is a little bit tricky. Like in a perfect competitive environment for WoW Arena, I mean, it is by far the best system. But
So I have a
it's just
question
an
for you,
it's just an
Timo.
issue. It's just an issue because
What
of
will
the player
Hydra's
base,
team
I
do
feel like.
if you ban
Yeah,
like
it is like an
Sparrow
issue
or
because
Gifter?
teams are just too bad. Like players are just
Yeah.
too bad because they don't play. Like it's not like League of Legends or
Right.
these type of hero games
Or
where you just
Overwatch,
pick up
yeah.
another class. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like that. Like WoW is so much more complex. But I would still say that you should be able to play more class if you're playing this game like on a regular basis, like regular, all the time. You should play more than one class, one spec.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are kind of garbage, I would say.
All right. All right.
Oh man, calling it out.
Like you can't say like I'm an amazing player if you only play like one class. It's kind of like
One spec
Hey,
as well, maybe.
or one spec. Like
I will say.
I mean, of course you can be a good player, but it's like an amazing player. You're not gonna be an amazing player if you're not. Because I feel like if
I
you're
feel
gonna
like you
be like
can't
one of the best
expect to win
players,
tournaments. You
yeah,
can't
because you
expect.
can't win
Sure.
tournaments playing one
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can combine, like there were like teams combining when they played only one comp all the time.
Yeah.
And they combined like, oh my god, this is broken, that is broken, and
Yeah,
they just
it's
kept
like,
playing one comp.
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it's like-
I think if you want to win tournaments, we need to be able to multi-class, and you can't be like just playing one comp. Then you're just hoping that your comp is the best comp in the game that can beat everything. which is just not how the game works. Like sometimes you are lucky enough, but sometimes your comp is bad. That's just how it is. I mean, I would have loved to keep playing Warrior Mage for the rest of the. Like it's the
Well,
only comp,
you
but it
guys
just
were an
doesn't
amazing
work.
Warrior Mage team. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I mean, it was
Oh, yeah.
it was really fun, but it just turned out to be really bad this season. And I mean, we adapted, we played other comps, and I feel like everyone should be able to do that if you want to win tournaments. Can't really expect anything else.
I would have
If you
loved
don't do that,
like if there was a bunch of teams that could like multi-class, and like if imagine there was like 20 teams in each region that was basically like our team or exit team. I mean, it would make the competitive environment and the tournaments for a viewer point of view as well to watch. I feel like it would be much more enjoyable to see like these type of teams fight each other instead of like these
Right.
one-trick pony teams that. Yeah,
True. It also
they
adds another
kinda
layer of complexity, though, that like
Mhm.
it creates like the you know, that inherent problem to WoW Arena and the spectator, and trying to meld the two is it's like, okay, how do I like show you, someone who isn't well familiar with WoW Arena, what WoW Arena is? You know, how do I help you understand what's going on? But yeah, I agree, that's true. But I think we have one question here. What would you pick and ban comps, or would you pick and like ban classes and
the
specs?
The
Specs.
specs,
The
yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Like specifically specs. So like for example, when it comes down to a shaman, I mean a shaman could basically, I mean for example, CPA could play elemental or enhancement. I mean you ban a spec,
Okay.
and you can ban a one healer spec, like one DPS spec. I think in the tournament that was played like in Miss Opendair, it was like you could ban 2 DPS specs. Or you could ban one healer spec, one DPS spec. You couldn't ban 2 healer specs because I mean then
Yeah,
there's
that's-
way
yeah.
less healing specs than DPS specs. So I feel like that would be a good system if they were to be pick and ban.
Very neat.
I wonder what it would look like with a pick and ban where you get to ban a player, but then you allow for triple DPS comps.
That would be stupid, I think. That would be really bad.
Of course it would.
It would be a little bit troubling.
Of course.
Yeah.
Then everyone would just come in and ban the viewer every single time.
It would be a triple DPS fiesta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
Please don't miss viewer come in. Or
what happens
CPS
if you,
someone.
if you have 2 healers in your team then?
Ooh.
Then,
Oh, yeah.
Like us, you can play here.
Yeah,
No, we have
Yeah.
3 healers in our team, even 4. Maro can play Restory, CP can play
Oh,
Resto
no,
Shaman,
don't
Miso can play
say
Mistweaver.
Mark.
So we have everything covered actually.
We are ready.
Yeah.
But
Only.
CP's Resto Shaman is actually not to be joked around with. I'm actually completely
Oh, yeah?
serious. CP's Resto
wow.
Shaman has made us win games in tournaments before. Because at a LAN 2018, I think,
Yeah.
the summer final,
Yeah.
we were facing one of the NA teams. I think it was Peekaboo playing RPS,
remember
and we had no practice whatsoever into that team, like into RPS in general. No one played RPS on EU. Like people don't play SP much on EU anymore because I don't know. And we didn't know
Reasons.
much what to expect. And then at the LAN, we had CP play with, I think, Vilai Shadow Priest from
Acro.
Europe, and Acro, and he was playing his Resto Shaman. It was the best practice I think I've ever got from wargaming anyone.
We were
And,
getting dominated actually. We were getting
and
dominated.
they,
We
and
had
they
no idea
were
what
and
to
they
do.
were and they were much harder than like the NA RPS. I felt like, 'cause, I mean, we smashed the NA RPS in that tournament 3-0, but into CP's Resto Shaman was actually, I would say, he was pissing on me a bit because I was playing Resto Shaman as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
He was playing very aggressive, like basically.
Yeah.
Elementals
Just
were
going
going in, shearing, purging,
Yeah.
basically going all in.
So I mean, he's a main healer, like from back in the day. So I mean, of course, if you
Yeah.
can't play Resto Shaman, he
I
sucks.
mean, I can recommend every viewer as well to watch the Bloodstack Rage compilation on YouTube and see some clips of his Resto Shaman gameplay.
I wanna say in that video that was before me and him had like 40-0 together. We had 1 loss together ever. I only had 1 loss on my Resto Shaman. Was
There
got
you go.
skipped.
That's it, yeah. So some of you guys' win-loss ratios, they seem like imaginary to me. So that's awesome. So who was answered? I lost track.
It was we got Looney in, right?
Okay.
And then
Only Looney. Okay.
I mean, if I
Alright,
had to pick one thing,
Yep.
make to a jury question, I mean, obviously pick and ban was already said. I would just say bring Deep Freeze back for Frost Mages, or Mages in
My
general,
man.
but specifically Frost Mages. I think it was a mistake to prune that ability. Obviously, in different metas, it would have been maybe too broken or like too OP, but I think if they balance the game around it, I think it's much more fun to play with the Deep Freeze as a mage. And I think even though we're not saying mages are bad or anything, but I think it's not as fun playing a class that doesn't have any stuns. I think it was a good designed ability. I don't know why they removed it, and yeah, I think that I would tell them
like
to
nature
bring.
should have shimmer.
No, of course not. I think they should remove it. They should just balance the class around Deep Freeze, but they should have never removed it in the first place.
All right.
Okay. Nice.
Bring back Deep Freeze.
Great
bring
choice.
back Pick and Ban. Blizzo.
Bring Charleston back. Charleston and Hamstring of Gobao and Warrior should be top damage.
I can only say one thing.
I mean, these three things. No, it's three things.
But if you think about it, Warrior should be one of the classes that kind of smashes the damage, right? And
Right.
it should be very hard to kill. It's like Warrior.
And nowadays, it's like you open details and it's Warriors on the bottom.
yeah, like
Don't
in
you-
BfA, Warrior.
Don't you miss
Warrior's
second win, Pablo? Second win.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you didn't need second wind.
Yeah,
Charleston.
Pablo doesn't need.
Charleston.
Just Charleston. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Charleston was
Warbring
really
is
fun.
that's good.
But Warbring is done, Pablo.
Warbringer is
No,
done.
Maybe Pamo Silence and Heroic Throw Silence.
Oh, disrupting shot as well. Oh,
Oh, brutal.
I remember. I
It's
remember.
coming back,
I
actually.
remember I played with an S-pin Mothman. He literally threw his PC out of the window because of a Warrior Feral kitty clip. He was not happy.
It's brutal days.
Oh my gosh.
He told me he faked like every kick, but you know, like Gagor silence. Even if you fake the kick, you get blanketed, and then if you recast again, you get froze silence. Then he got disrupting shouted, Warbring is stunned, storm bolted, shockwave, then kicks are back again, and he was losing it.
Oh, yeah, that would. Even if you, to even be able to dodge all those and juke all those kicks, like that's yikes. It's not even possible. All right, Z-Pie. Actually, no, hold on. Andallyn. What's one thing you would change?
All right. So when Looney was talking earlier in this podcast, I had an awesome idea, and I've completely forgotten that idea. Admittedly, I don't remember. So I came up with something else that I've always wanted that I thought would always be cool. I'd really like to see, and I really have no clue how this would actually how this would play out in a tournament scene, because I've never really played competitively in WoW, in that kind of capacity in WoW, other than just ladder. But I think you should get a damage buff if you juke a kick. So I think if someone uses a kick or an interrupt ability on you, I think you should get a damage or healing buff for like 5 seconds. I think that'd be a really neat outplay ability to where it provides you a huge swing of potential where, I juked this kick, now I can top myself and somebody else, or now I this provides me an opportune time, to provide some burst damage or something like that. I think that'd be a really cool ability, or a really cool passive ability that you could work in the game. I think that'd be neat.
There was something similar before. When you hit the kick, you got a damage buff.
Warrior side is right. 10%.
Yeah.
Warriors and I think
DHs
Pharaohs as well.
DHs had
DH,
some.
Pharaoh as well, I think.
Actually, Kiva, wouldn't it be more fun to have a 5-man roster instead?
Fireman roster. I don't know. It's like
Is that yours there, Z-Pie?
I mean, that would be fun.
3-man, 4-man, 5-man. I don't know. I feel like since you're 3-man in the actual arena, I don't know. Like maybe you're supposed to be 3-man. Maybe
And
we have to kick someone. Maybe it's time for you to go, CP.
I'm getting old. I'm getting a bit old to be honest.
Maybe Kiva is gonna go and Zip is gonna take the rest of Shaman role.
Sounds good to go. I mean, we had a blast though.
It's good. It was a high. We ended on a high, guys. We ended it on a high. At least. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
No,
But I think
just,
the interrupt idea, I think, was good. But,
Yeah, I mean, Maru
I
doesn't
think it's not
fake many
bad.
kicks, so I don't think it's a good idea to be honest.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
have one idea. If are we there yet? I think so.
Well, did we get Z-Pies?
I think that was Z-Pies. Do 5-man?
Yeah.
Or are you just joking?
I mean, it'll be fun. I will take it, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
I can tell if you're joking at first, and it sounded like it was serious, and now okay. All right. So my idea would be is change it up where it's kind of like a pick and ban, but bring in the conquest idea from Hearthstone. So you have 3 comps. There has to be at least at least one spec change between each comp, and you have to win all 3 comps. So each team has to lock in 3 comps for the tournament, and then yeah, I mean there's a possibility you could be hard countered. There's a possibility you could hard counter somebody else's.
I've thought about that as well. It's like when it comes to
This is actually good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the pick and ban could work like 2 ways, like the way I spoke about earlier. It could be something like this that you just
So
like,
basically, like pick 3 comps before tournament. Okay, we want to play like let's say Windwalker Mage, Warrior Mage, and LMH, and we have to play every single comp.
You have to win with
Good.
each.
But I feel like in WoW it's like, I don't know, because I mean, like most teams they just play 1 comp, so I mean they would just pick the 1 comp anyway. So I feel like,
But that's the thing is
Forces them to have-
it makes some teams have to make other comps. So then it gets over that one trick pony you're talking about.
maybe. I mean,
I think
if they're only playing 1 comp and they can only pick 1 comp,
Then they can't play because they're not bringing 3 comps.
I mean, you mean so you actually have to pick more
Yes.
than that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they could just pick some alt comp. I mean that they
Right.
play like garbage players on. You know, I mean it doesn't matter. But
But
Yeah, but they have to win.
they
they
have to actually.
That will be brutal a little bit. But then,
that would be brutal maybe.
yeah, that will be too brutal, I think. I mean,
maybe.
imagine you have 2 teams in the final, and both of them like have to win with some comp, and they, I'm sure they would kill it into each other. So I'm sure they would get a win, but I don't know.
That's an idea. Whatever. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just for fun.
I mean, I don't think the ideas. I think they could do a lot of things. So I just think what we said earlier is just true. I think
Maybe
people
they
would have
just
to
make a
adapt
rogue
and
mage
play.
tournament.
Yeah,
Only play rogue mage,
maybe
to be
that.
honest.
Yeah, maybe that would be the key. Just play rogue mage, everyone.
Yes.
Have some fun, fast games, guys.
Yeah, of course.
3 comps: Rogue Mage Pally, Rogue Mage Priest, Rogue Mage Druid. Done.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh.
All right. I think so. Let's quickly roll through some of the PvP news that we picked up in the last couple weeks. What's happened, and then we will close this out. And say goodnight to everybody.
Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
All right, let's talk about some news here, Gerissar.
Yeah. So as always, there's hot fixes. As lately, none of them have to do with PvP. All right. That's about it for the news. No.
I mean, that's just sad truth sometimes.
Sometimes. There was some cool stuff though that came up looking at Shadowlands. So there was a blue post over on the forums talking about the thought processes from the devs and how they're looking at how loot is going to be available in Shadowlands and eye level equivalents. I thought this was actually quite pertinent looking into the future. So essentially, it comes down to saying just where conquest gear is going to be equating to heroic rating and some of the Mythic Plus stuff around the where was it? Around the 213 level. But they are acknowledging the fact that there is some Mythic stuff, like the plus 15 and the greater vaults than that are still going to be able to provide 226. And I want to make sure. So the top tier ratings on PvP is going to cap out at 226. My apologies. They're putting a challenger level 213, challenger level PvP at 213, which is heroic rating, or your +7 mythics. So there is some concerns because, if I understand correctly, there is some items that are dropping out of the raid that are slightly higher than 213 or higher than that. So we'll see how that looks out. But I thought that was pretty pertinent for some news as to where we're looking for item levels into Shadowlands. There was hey, Andallyn.
Yeah.
How did the casting weekend go, buddy?
Yeah, it was exciting. We had an interesting couple of matchups. It was a fun little tournament to watch over. The level 20 Twink tournament that the WoW 20 community put on. It was the Burning League. And we had it was two different tournaments. It was the free-to-play tournament, which was just kind of open to everybody. And they also had the Veterans tournament, which was, the rule sets were a little bit different, allowing you to, or, disallowing certain enchants and different things like that. So it was really neat. I got a chance to kind of spectate or commentate on some of those games with the other guys.
Did more than spectate, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. So, it was a good time.
Good stuff.
We got to watch some really good plays, some really interesting games, and it was a lot of fun if you got a chance to tune into it. So
I unfortunately missed it live, but I did catch the VODs after. There were some really great games there. I thought they were pretty awesome. One thing I did also notice, so the great thing about the Burning League there, because it's only level 20, obviously somebody could just play on a free to play account.
Pick
up.
Yeah,
that's a perfect account. So I thought that was really cool that they separated the two out like that. So I just want to do a quick congratulations to Kolia. I'm just going to butcher this. Kolia
Kidok? Yeah.
Kolia Kidok. Thank you.
Yeah.
So they won the veteran side. That was names are in the show notes. I'm going to butcher the names. I'm going to try. And then Pericrofagos, they did the free to play. So cool. Congrats to those two teams for winning those two. That was great. And I have to admit, the video productions and a bunch of the adverts and the webpage they did set that up was really amazing. Mm-hmm. And of course the tournament too. But I mean, outside of the tournament, there was some great production stuff there. There's also our friend Flarkness, right? The renowned Death Knight there. He's been doing the weekly tournaments or whatever. He teamed up with Wowhead, so he did a tournament just last weekend, which was pretty crazy. Over $1,000 prize pool, and I want to give a quick congratulations out to Castmites, Weezex, and Slenderman for winning that one. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the thing that happened just this last weekend, the people we're talking to, Wildcard Gaming. Congratulations for winning EU, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
That's right.
Absolute champions. And also a quick shout out to the Mew Mew Kitty Cats for winning the NA Cup, or the NA Championships. So that's Brain, Ceruleum, Roasty, and Drake, of course. Wow. This has been amazing, guys. Before we close this out with our little our outros, is there anybody you guys want to shout out?
I want to shout out to our team coaches and our boys, Brian Sordani and Mercedes.
Yes.
They actually helped us in that, for real. They actually helped us in winning this tournament. So thank you to them.
Very cool.
Other than that, not really.
Okay. Nobody else?
Nice.
All right. Andallyn, anybody you want to shout out?
Not in particular this week, but we'll.
All right.
That's it for me.
Cool. Well, I want to give a shout out to the Warcraft radio peoples. On top of everything they've been up to, this one, it's been in development for about 3 months now.
Yeah. And
they just announced it today. They revamped the podcast directory. This used to be done by Ro over at Realm Maintenance. He used to run a list of all the podcasts that have been going on for all the Blizzard games, not just World of Warcraft. And Warcraft Radio teamed up with them. They revamped it. Oh, thank you, Ketra, for pinging that into the Twitch chat, and we're gonna have a link for that in the show notes too. But it's not just a directory anymore. You can actually you can use it to find other podcasts you're interested in, but you can also leave reviews there. And all you have to do is just log in with your BNet account. It's really simple for automatic verification. So I want a huge shout out to Warcraft Radio for doing that, and just for providing a way for others to find all the podcasts out there and allow for us to communicate directly and not have to go through iTunes or iHeartRadio or any of these other apps out there that are making us go through their stuff. So, All right. Wow. I failed to update the show notes after that.
Nothing to do.
Blizzo.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners find you on the interwebs?
On Twitter and my Twitch, but I don't really stream, so I'm not sure. Maybe in the future.
Hopefully.
I can link to it there as well. I think.
Yep. Yeah, so we're having a link for that for Blizzo Wow at Blizzo Wow on Twitter. And and we'll definitely have the links for that in the show notes, I guess. What about for Looney? Where can people find yous?
Twitch TV, Lunart, with 2 O's, and I mean my Twitter is I think it's
Is it the Looney
What is
Biscuit
it?
Champ, maybe?
the
Blitzcrank
Looney
Champ?
Beacon Champ that I made 2014.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
Wow.
Don't really have any other social media.
Maybe you should change the Nokia to BfA Champ.
BfA Champions.
You guys don't have any TikToks or anything, do you?
Nah.
Okay.
I found out about TikTok like 1 month ago, so I mean, I'm very old.
The old dog, yes.
Aren't we all? Maro, where can people find you, bud?
Yeah, on Twitter, twitter.com/Maro_wow, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Maro.
Twitch and Twitter.
Very
Love it.
nice.
And Zpi.
I mean, you can find me on Twitch and PayPal, to be honest. I'm actually on Twitch, of course.
Can donate in his
I was gonna
Twitch
say,
channel.
you didn't give me your PayPal link.
I'll fix it.
He will link you his
Only
OnlyFans
funds.
link as well.
Well, talk after. All right. Okay. You guys are awesome. Hey, speaking of awesome people, Andallyn, can you tell our awesome listeners where they can find us?
Yes, of course. You can contact us directly with a tweet to @technically_PvP, or you can email us at technicallypvp@gmail.com. You can also join our discussions on the Warcraft Radio Discord. We've got all sorts of different stuff and unique channels for every show individually too. So, plus there's tons of other great shows to check out. So,
Indeed. And as you just mentioned, over there, there's the new directory, which also has a review system. So please go over there and tell everybody what you think of our shows. Love to hear from you. Links for everything is going to be in the show notes, as always. And I want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you very much, Twitch chat, for being here with us. And hey, have a great night. Good night, everybody.
take care, guys.
Good night, guys. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Night.